In today's video, we are cooking up 3 super quick family dinners that will keep you out of the drive-thru and help you save money. This first recipe is taco pasta, so we are just going to start by boiling our water. While that's boiling, we are going to dice up 1 green bell pepper. For this recipe, we'll need half of a cup of white onion, 1 can of rotel, enchilada sauce, taco seasoning, and ground beef. So I'm just going to cook up my ground beef just for a few minutes and then add in my diced white onion along with that green bell pepper. We are just going to cook this until it is almost finished and go ahead and drain it. I'm using taco seasoning from Mindy Mom. I'll leave the link to her recipe down below. And then add in 1 can of hot rotel, or you can just use regular diced tomatoes. Once our pasta is done, I am just putting that into a 9x13 baking dish and pouring in 1 cup of the Siete brand enchilada sauce. Again, you'll know I love this enchilada sauce. It's an apple cider vinegar base and it is just so delicious. So just mix around your enchilada sauce and your pasta until it's fully coated. Add in our meat mixture and then we are just going to spread that around. Top with some cheddar cheese, and then we are going to place this in the oven at 350 just for about 5 to 7 minutes until that cheese is nice and melted. This was so delicious. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of a hamburger helper, but elevated. I'm not a huge hamburger helper fan, but this had so much more flavor and it cleared up a lot of items I had in my pantry. In last video, I talked about these honey mustard meatballs that I've never tried before, but kind of sounded a little interesting. So to our crock pot, I have 1 bag of meatballs, and then we are going to be adding in 1 cup of Frank's hot buffalo sauce. Next up, I have 1 cup of honey mustard. And then for my barbecue sauce, I'm actually not a huge barbecue sauce fan, so I'm only going to be doing a half a cup. If we need to add some more later just to give it a little bit more of that flavor, we can definitely add that in. But I'm just going to stir this together until it's fully combined, place on our lid, and we are going to cook this on high for 2 hours or until our meatballs are completely done cooking. After 3 hours, our meatballs are completely done cooking. They smell so good. They are a little bit more on that buffalo side rather than the honey mustard or the barbecue, but they taste really good. Pair this with some mashed potatoes and you have a super easy dinner. For our tater tot pizza, we are just going to start by preheating our oven at 350. I'm going to put a layer of tater tots at the bottom of my greased baking dish, and we are going to cook these for about 10 minutes. So after we do that, let's go ahead and just prep all of our other ingredients. For our pepperonis, I am just dicing up 1 cup's worth into like little strips. You could totally use like the small pepperonis if you had those on hand. For our onion, I already chopped up onions a couple of days ago, so I'm just using the leftover what I had so I can go ahead and get that out of my fridge. While our tater tots are in the oven, we are going to cook up 1 pound of hot breakfast sausage, or you could definitely use hot Italian sausage, but I had this one on hand and I honestly forgot to defrost anything today while I was at work, so this was the quickest thing to defrost. After a couple minutes, we are going to add in our white onion and just let this cook down until our meat is fully cooked, and then we are going to go ahead and drain it. Once we have drained our sausage, I am just going to add in my marinara. I'm just using this Ragu Simple, and I always like to season it just a little bit more. So I have 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and half a teaspoon of parsley. And then we are going to add in our 1 cup of diced up pepperonis. Very carefully, we are going to add back in our hot breakfast sausage and our onions. And we are just going to stir this together just for a few minutes until our tater tots are done. With our tater tots out of the oven, we are just going to completely combine. You can definitely cook your tater tots on a cookie sheet and then combine it so that all the tater tots aren't like right on the bottom. But I didn't feel like dirtying up another dish if I'm just gonna pour everything into this dish. So I'm just gonna like very carefully stir it all together, kind of get some of those tater tots off the bottom, just making sure that everything is fully coated. I've just shredded up 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. For now, we are gonna put in about half of that, just kind of put it right on top, mix it up a little bit, and then we are gonna put this in the oven for an additional 10 minutes at 450. So after 10 minutes, I went ahead and checked it, and it looked like it needed a little bit longer. So I just put it in for an additional 5 minutes. It started to get a little brown on the edges, but it is fine. It smells so good. So super easy dish, took about 25 minutes to make, and this will definitely be a family favorite. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Click here to see my latest freezer clean out challenge.